Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 47th edition of Startup Portugal's Above and Beyond Hangout. Hi there, Marilia. My name is João Moreira Pires. I'm the VC and Investor Relations Manager at Startup Portugal and your host here in Lisbon. Over in Porto, we have my dear friend and colleague, Marilia Santos. It's great to have you there, and I believe you have a few things to tell us.
Yes. Hi, João. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Above and Beyond Hangout number 37, the reverse speech. My name is Marilia, as João said, and I'm your host here in Porto. Today, it's my great pleasure to tell you everything that has been happening in our ecosystem in the last Hangout of the year. So as we wrap up 2025 and start looking ahead to 2026, this feels like just the right moment to pause, reflect, and reset. Another startup year has come and gone, filled with incredible milestones, challenges, and growth. So whether you spent this year scaling your business, testing new markets, or laying the groundwork for what's next, we want to say this clearly. Startup Portugal is here to support you every step of the way. With this, let's make 2026 count. So I have several notes to give you today. The first one is about business abroad. As speaking about going ahead, if internationalization is on your roadmap, business abroad, one of Startup Portugal's program, continues to be one of our key programs to help startups take their next steps globally. We support Portuguese startups attending major international tech conferences and making the most out of those experiences. If Asia or the Middle East are on your radar, here is a kind reminder that the deadline to apply for Web Summit Qatar is December 31st, and for 4 years from now is January 23rd. All the details are available on our website, so don't miss it and apply quickly while spots last. International growth also doesn't happen in isolation, and startups must know when to expand, especially to the US. That's why we launched Scale Up Now, a program designed to connect startups, incubators, innovation-driven companies, and investors with the US startup ecosystem. It's about sharing knowledge, contacts, and real opportunities. If expanding to the US is something you are considering, this program is definitely worth a closer look. Registration is free and already open. So just go again to Startup Portugal website, see more about the program, and register if you are interested. Lastly, regarding Startup Portugal programs, because it's December and we are all thinking about gifts, if you are still looking for the perfect Christmas present for a founder friend, a co-founder, or even yourself, we have got you covered. Sim Conference 2026 tickets are now available with a special buy one, get one offer. So 2 on the price of 1. Yes, you heard it right. Our early bird is so good that right now 1 ticket costs less than the opportunity you will miss. Think of it as gifting ideas, connections, and a very good excuse to be in Porto on May 3rd, 14, and 15. This offer won't last forever, so make sure to grab it while you can. Finally, let me tell you about a conference, Women's Summits, a conference that celebrates women that will happen in Cascais on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of March 2026. I invite you to go and check the websites, get to know more about it, and get your tickets. With that note, I don't want to keep you away from your startup Christmas present, this reverse speech. So let's go into it, and I would like to tell you 3 rules about how this is going to happen. First rule, each investor has 8 minutes to pitch. Second rule, the time might be brutally enforced by me and João, and followed by one question from the audience for each pitch, both in Lisbon and in Porto. So I urge you to pay attention and fire your best questions when asked. So I think this is it, João. You are ready to start?
Yes, Marilia, just let me give another heads up for founders and entrepreneurs in the audience. This will be your perfect opportunity to ask hard things to an investor, such as how many founders have they really managed to support from their portfolio, or even be bolder and ask them to come back to you when they have enough track record. Now, let's get this reverse pitch going. And please welcome for the first pitch, an angel investor at Angel's Way, Pedro Pratas e Souza. A round of applause for him.
Is this working? Okay, guys, can you hear me well? Yeah? All right. So, hello, I'm going to present Angel's Way, or as we call it, the biggest wealth creation mechanism since the invention of the stock exchange. And I'm going to explain it a bit. So, my name is Pedro. I was born 25 years ago in Coimbra. I've been a founder twice. Currently, I'm in the founding team of a startup, Commutal, where we are automating accounting. I'm a venture partner at Olizipway, and I'm an angel investor as well in Angel's Way. And yes, I'm always curious for new ideas and connecting with people that are mission-driven and working and building cool stuff. So we had a problem, and that problem was the lack of funding in Portugal and the support for early-stage founders, like João was saying. The minimum ticket for an investor to invest in a fund would be 100,000 euros, around that. There was lack of funds focused on pre-seed here in Portugal, and there was a lack of infrastructure for angel investment. So we came up with a solution. And that solution was a fully regulated angel fund that creates a community of angels and builders. So we developed a fully regulated angel fund managed by OW Ventures, regulated by the CMVM, and we organize ourselves kind of like of a DAO. We raised 1.2 million euros, which 1 million of which will be investing in 20 startups. We lowered the barrier of entry for any investor to invest in startups, so to 1,200 euros. That is the minimum ticket for you to invest. And we capped the maximum to 12,000 euros. So we made sure that we want to build a community that right now it's of 436 angels, 436 active people helping businesses to grow. So our infrastructure is based on our Angel's Way platform. It's our central tool for voting, tracking investments, and managing all of our fund operations. So we have all of the projects. We can see clearly what is the investments that we are going to proceed, how we are going to vote. We work in a very democratic way, and we can see our financials, so how much our fund spends in management fees, and essentially how much equity we get, and all of the deal flow. We have access to all of that. We communicate primarily to our Angel's Way channels through Slack and WhatsApp. They're hubs for real-time discussions, collaboration, and community engagement, which has this hotspot for curious people, founders, previous investors as well, and it creates a very interesting ecosystem. So our MO, our industry focus, we're agnostic, as long as the company is based in Portugal. Our size and stage, we invest up to 50K euros. We tend to look at 1 million euro valuation, as we are the first institutional investor per se, very early. But we've invested as far as 6 million valuations. Our values and goals, well, it's supporting the Portuguese ecosystem, and like I said, creating a strong cooperative community. This fund was made by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, so from Tocha, Nunes, Tiago, Gutmann, and Serra. Well, we have in OW Ventures a track record with over 20 million euros deployed, more than 70 portfolio companies, and 20 years of experience. Our process is rather simple. So number one, the angel submits a startup. Actually, the startup can also submit itself into our platform. I will explain it a little bit later about that. And we have an angel father that kind of becomes the founder's best friend within all of this process. It goes to the pre-selection, which is the first part of the voting. If all of the community votes, if we have a positive voting on that, so above 50%, we go into diligence. The diligence is 2 calls. So a first call to talk about the founders, the team, what are they working on, a little bit about their technology if they have, and a second one more about the go-to-market challenges, more about the market itself, and why they need the funding itself. And after this, we do our investment voting with an average of 35 days from submission to investment. Our portfolio, we count with, this is already outdated, so we already have 9 startups with 450K already invested from Bytalaw, Dojo AI, Grantor, Nixter last week. We just closed that investment, and essentially just pitches our startup. This is our website if you want to know more. If you are a founder, please do submit a startup, and you can check our community as well to see if there's an angel father that you can resonate more with. And overall, if you want to learn more, check our wiki. And if you want to apply to become an angel, join Angel's Way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Please stay on stage as now we stay here. As now we ask for questions from the audience here in Lisbon. Raise your hands and fire away. Come on, don't be shy. We have 1 question, 2 questions here. I think we only have time for 1, but if possible, we'll go for the second. Please say who you are and fire your question.
So I'm Benny, and I am a founder of, let's say, AI competitions in the world. And I wanted to ask, what kind of, let's say, the type of startups you have there in your portfolio?
We are agnostic. Okay, we have a pet food startup, and we have AI startups as well. So we are agnostic.
From technology to the manufacturing.
Cool builders. That's what we want.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think if it's a quick question, I think we can have another one over here.
Thank you. I just need to ask, like, how investors see social impact startups, because they usually have less chances of profits. So how investors see those kind of startups?
Well, that's a great question. We had some startups that were focused on impact, and it usually what happens is the angel father resonates a lot with the mission and tries to pull the community in order to also resonate with what the founder is building. So it's a completely democratic way of voting. All of these diligence processes, it's based on democracy. So you really have to make that work of convincing everybody in the community that you're worth the shot. Thank
you. That's all. Thank you so much, Pedro. Andrea, I think we have something for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And Marilia, over to you.
Yeah.
Round of applause.
João. Thank you, Pedro. And now for the third speech here in Porto, please welcome João Henriques, partner na Iberia Capital.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's Iberisch. It's actually a flower, no relationship with the geography. That's all fine. So, time. I understand 8 minutes, right? Cool. So I'm going to try to tell you who we are, what we do, and how we look at companies and what types of companies we support. So this is our story. We're also a startup in a way. Well, not in a way. We started in 2017. That makes us a very young company. Started 4 partners. We had been all over the place. The oldest had met at PCG. Some have been at Oxy working with the others. I spent a lot of time at Vodafone. We all studied abroad and did strange things in our lives, and came together in 2017 because we had a view of what we thought was missing in the market at the time. We thought we needed a professional manager, not in the sense of the quality of the work. There are good operators out there, but something that's really a professional partnership. So we don't look at Iberis as mine, Luis, Diogo's, and David's company. We actually have mechanisms whereby the investment team become partners and can become the largest shareholder in the company in 3 years after becoming a partner. We have a mechanism to make that work. So we started in 2017, raised our first fund. Still in 2017, we didn't even have a registered fund manager. So we had someone that helped us sort of host that fund for 6 months or so. 2018, we got to around 40 million in assets under management, made our first investments in the fund. TechEver was one of them in 2018. 2019, kept on growing, 120 million. We're now at around 600 million of assets under management. And we've just opened the office here in Porto this September. So very excited about that. We think there's a lot of good companies, investors, and good talent here. So we thought that we need to sort of branch out and come here. And we already have a permanent team here, besides us spending a lot of time here. So what do we think makes us unique? Of course, a lot of people will say this, but we really believe it. I think we do have a unique team. It's a team that we're really proud of. And we have basically reinvested most of our money into the team. And you'll see it's a sizable team for Portuguese standards and logic. That as we grew, we said we would not only put money into the funds themselves, but also into growing the team. We do have a unique network. We've been around for a while in different capacities, and that gives us a network of people that we know that can help companies in specific instances. And we're able to follow up on investments to very large extents. So Iberis is a multi-strategy investor. However, when you think of Iberis, it's actually 3/4 venture capital. And yes, there's some other stuff as well. I spend all of my time doing venture, and that's the core of our activity. So if you do the math, that's quite a bit of money. So we invest in companies that go to large tickets. So this is our portfolio. I think it's fairly updated. Frame plays there, which we closed last week, so I presume so. And we're still closing a couple until the end of the year. There are 42 companies here, if you count them. It's obviously a lot of founders behind that, and a lot of them we have really close interaction with. In a lot of these companies, we are the main investor. I know, think of TechEver, MediaProbe, Paynest, I know, Musiversal, etc. We're very close to the founders. Others we're not, because there's no need for that. If you think of Sword Health or Feedzai, less so. We have invested in 4 unicorns. In 2 of them, we are the only Portuguese fund. We're really proud of that. And to manage that, we need a relatively large team. So beyond the 4 partners, there are 15 people in the investment team that is still growing. We're hiring aggressively, especially here in Porto. Then we have all the areas of investor support and fund support that the size requires. The CMVM is not very tolerant when companies become large, and they do well. They shouldn't be. So that's who we are. What do we look for? Ultimately, I think we look for the same that most VCs do, but we try to think of it this way. One, is the company solving a large and valuable problem? The large is important because you need to understand what's really the size of the problem that the company is addressing. So if you have a specific diagnosis device, that doesn't mean that you're solving the entire healthcare problem of the world. Is it valuable? Meaning, are people willing to pay for it? And then, is it commercially validated? Is it easy or difficult to replicate, etc.? Is the market large? And how do you compare with other solutions that address the same problems? There's a rule of thumb that says if you're 10% better than the incumbent, you're not going anywhere. So either it's a new market and it's a new problem that doesn't have a solution, or you need to be 10x better than the existing solutions. And is this the right team to execute that? So in a nutshell, it's what we look for, and we really think of it this way. The companies we have in the portfolio, some have hundreds of millions in revenue, some are pre-revenue. Obviously, if you invest in a pre-revenue company, it needs to have something that's really differential in what they are offering in the market, and the sizes of the tickets that we put in are obviously different. What does the process look like? So first approach, send us an email. We do answer all the emails that we get. We screen them all. You will not be left hanging. There's a first call to try to understand market, if there's any fit with what we're trying to do in terms of building our portfolio. There's analysis that we do. We use experts. We do our own analysis a lot around the market sizes, the unit economics, the competition, etc. There's a presentation to our investment committee. Typically, this is with an agreed term sheet already before that. So we take it to our investment committee, which is basically the directors of the company, the 4 partners and our CFO. We all have exactly the same voting rights. And we have some specific governance around this, that no more than 2 people can be involved in transactions, so that you have at least 3 people whose job is to shoot it down. But that's an important discipline we cannot make investments on a whim. Then there's the due diligence, contracting, investment, and then we continue to support the companies along the journey. So, missed by 4 seconds. Sorry.
I can hear you 4 seconds for sure.
No.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Missed by 4 seconds.
Well, great, João. So we have time for one question.
Yeah.
Here in Porto. Okay, we have one here, Luis.
Thanks for the presentation. Thank you for the presentation. So you didn't go into detail around ticket size. You did say pre-revenue and that affected the ticket size. I'm just curious, the current ticket size and stage you're most comfortable investing in? And
so we have 2 seed and pre-seed funds that do tickets in sort of 200, 300K. That can go up to 500, 600. Those are very specific funds. They have very narrow strategies. Then there's a gap, and our flagship funds, the blue tech funds, they make tickets anywhere between 2 and 20 million. With the smallest ticket we've done is actually 1.5 million. That's the smallest we've gone in blue tech. The largest ticket we've done to date was 16 million, but we still have some follow-on capacity for that investment. But so the way it works in terms of portfolio is that in terms of the euros deployed, they're very much concentrated in the TechEver, Swords, Vidzais, Bold Techs of the world. In terms of number of companies, they're much more focused on the companies where you do 2, 3, 4 million. And then there are some in the middle, but actually not that many.
Okay, great. Thank you, João. João.
Yes.
Thank you, João. Thank you, João.
Too many Joãos on stage at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you. A round
Thank
of
you so
applause,
much.
please.
A round of applause for João and for Iberis Capital. So now, here in Lisbon, to pitch Semapa Next, please welcome Hugo Augusto, CEO. Round of applause to Hugo. The floor is yours.
Boa noite. Thank you for the invitation. Hello, everyone. My name is Hugo, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Semapa Next and what we do. So Semapa Next is a venture capital firm that invests at Series A stage in European-based companies that want to become global category leaders. So let me unpack these for you. What does this mean? So Series A for us means the tip of the iceberg is revenue. It's around 1 million euros, more or less. Then we can go deep down, depending on the business model and the sector, to see a bunch of other KPIs to understand if you are at the stage that we call Series A. And usually that round should help you go to from 1 million to 10 million euros. So usually anticipating some questions, what about 500K, 700K? That's okay. Usually if you have a hardware company, you don't even have revenue, and we can come in what we call the Series A stage, but that round should take you to 10 million revenue, more or less. Okay, happy to then drill down more if you'd like to learn more about that. So European-based teams, we invest in any any HQ around the world, but we need to see European-based teams so that we can help with our network, with our experience. It's more concentrated around Europe. We, for the first 4 years, we've been more generalists. Now, based on our experience, we are focusing on 4 key themes: industrial tech, supply chain, energy transition, and vertical software. And that's a combination of where we have experience with our portfolio, the mega trends, what's happening with the world, and our network, where we can bring more expertise to help our portfolio companies. The check size is between 4 to 6 million euros, and this means that the rounds we come in usually are between 6 to 15 million. I think, as many of you know, this varies a lot, but gives you a range of where usually we come in. We have one first fund of 120 million that is ending now this year, and we'll start deploying from the second fund of 120 million in January of next year for the next 4 years. So this is what we're looking for. Now, what can we offer you? First, it's our team. It's a short team, but all of us are full stack. So we do a lot of things between investment and operations. We have a combination of former entrepreneurs, investment bankers, finance people. My colleague Laura is over there, comes from finance, and helping us. We have people who come from acceleration, and this is one of our key assets that we bring to any portfolio that we work with. Then we have our portfolio companies. It's a great way to bring expertise, and we offer these to the companies that we partner with. You can see it's a very diverse in terms of sectors that we have invested, very diverse also in terms of geographies, mostly European, whether they have businesses outside of Europe or not. Most of the teams are based in Europe. But these sectors and the team's expertise, the specific businesses, the specific business models, the specific go-to-markets, all of these expertise is assets that we bring to the companies we invest in. And finally, we try to spend a bit more time and resources around 3 areas. We try to build a specific network, it's what we call access to the companies we invest in. So if you're working more in supply chain, for, let's say, procurement, we try to organize some events, custom curated dinners for procurement directors to help you, whether with expertise or to open doors for business development. Leadership, we work a lot with the leadership teams to help them to find the right coaches, because at Series A, the problems are a little bit different. You have more management problems than when you're a pre-seed seed, work on more product and tech and validation if that is working. And we also help with senior talent recruitment. And then with finance, usually when you get to Series B, you're going to have a CFO, a VP of finance. And usually when you're a Series A, you don't have. And so we help to structure the finance team and help you with the processes to make it more smoother while you can still focus on building the business and scaling sales and marketing. That's it. So I hope we have plenty of time for questions. Feel free to connect on LinkedIn or connect with our website to submit your pitch. Laura and I will stay for a bit as well after the event, so happy to connect one-on-one and answer to any questions that we will not be able to answer here.
Ask for a round of applause because this man was under the 8 minutes. Congrats. So now some questions here in Lisbon. Who wants to go first? Come on, take your chances. Not everyone at the same time. Really, no one? Okay, we have one here. Microphone there. Perfect.
Thank you for the pitch. It's one of the good ones. So you already covered the part, but I saw in your presentation the supply chain was kind of food supply chain in that portfolio, but financing other portfolios, specifically how many pitch comes to the consideration and what is the percentage of acceptance?
Yeah, thank you. So on average, every year we see 1,000 companies. We talk with 1,000 companies. We invest 4 companies per year. So for example, this year, but that's an average. This year we have not invested in any company, any new company until November of this year. Now in December we've made 2 investments. But the average, the percentage you're looking for is less than 0.5%. So it's 1,000 and it's for investment. And supply chain, we invest in everything supply chain. It can be foods, can be working capital, finance for working capital. It's just really addressing the big problems now that we are seeing everywhere around supply chain. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Any questions over in Portugal? Oh, we have another one here. Okay, go.
Yeah, I just had a question in general about how do you guys look at the entrepreneur's expectation or desire to exit? Do you look for groups who have a clear focus on exit? And it feels like investors are looking for people who want to kind of exit faster than in the past. Is that fair, or can you just talk about?
Yeah, well, the market is so big and so diverse. It's really not I would say, a very concentrated, homogeneous market to speak on behalf of the market. So I'll speak on our behalf. We do look for exits. We don't have a legal entity as a fund, so we don't have the pressure, the legal pressure to exit. But we do expect once we invest, depending on the business, we invest in Constellar, it's a company launching satellites to collect thermal data for agriculture, defense. It's going to take a bit more time to exit compared with maybe companies that are with software, SaaS, repeatable, that is have a more clear linear growth. And so we aim, our analysis usually is around 7-8 years. Can take a bit more, 10, 12 years to exit. And I think that the pressure really comes in that as the business is getting more mature and our fund is getting more mature to find that path to exit. But that's a conversation that's done right at the beginning about our expectations. And so I think we would never come in if we both wouldn't agree that it's that. Just underlying to your question is, depending on the business where it is, we might have an hypothesis of selling earlier. If it is a more mature business, if we think that the market is more hot for some reason, and there will be more liquidity options in 4 or 5 years from now. But again, that's conversations we have with the founders. We have to agree. We are partnering with the founders. We're not a bank. We're not staying on the sidelines. I hope it was helpful.
Okay, this is it, Hugo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And your bag, goodies bag from Startup Portugal. Now, let's keep on rolling here in Lisbon, and please give your warmest welcome to Rui Fonte, VC Senior Analyst at Lins Capital. Rui, come on over.
Okay, can you hear me? Fine. Okay, so it's really good to be here. Thank you, João, for the opportunity to present Lins Capital. And thank you for coming. It's always exciting to speak to a crowded room. So Linz Capital, we're based in Lisbon. How this works? Okay. Yeah, so we're based in Lisbon. Our history, so we were founded 10 years ago, more or less. Our history goes back a few years to the 1980s. Basically, Linz Capital is a kind of a spin-off of a large family group that started in the 1980s. They were focused on, and they are still focused. The company still exists and it's quite big. Focused on managing real estate investment funds here in Portugal. And the group grew a lot over the past decades. And so around 10 years ago, it was decided to create a spin-off to address other investment areas besides the real estate market. So 10 years ago, Linz Capital was officially created. Now we're completely independent. We manage more than 500 million in assets over 3 investment areas. So the biggest one is venture capital, over 260 million in assets. Then we also have some real estate related to tourism, and also we have 2 private equity funds. They are the most recent ones in Linz Capital, and we have a growth fund and a yield fund. But I'm going to focus more, obviously, on the venture capital area, which is currently it's the biggest one as well, and obviously I'm part of that team. You can see our growth over the years in funds management companies. Our growth metrics is assets under management, and we've grown a lot over the past years. And currently the venture capital department, we have 4 funds, and it's the biggest area in Linz. We have 6 people exclusively dedicated to the venture capital funds. Vasco is our CEO. He was the creator of Linz, and he obviously oversees the 3 core areas. And then Tomás and Francisco here on the top, they worked together many years, mostly in KPMG, in M&A, also in some other investment funds in other companies. And in 2020, they created the venture capital department in Linz Capital, and we've grown a lot, not only in team but also in size of the assets over the past 5 years. So we started in 2020. We raised just 4 million euros, and currently we have more than 260 under management. And also the team's growing a lot. Myself, I've been more than 3 years at Linz, and it's been quite exciting seeing the company grow from those 4 million to 260 now. So our funds and what we invest in. So we have a lot of LPs, mostly Portuguese. We've deployed more than 140 million euros over the past 4 years in 36 companies. All of them are here, the logos. You obviously might recognize some of them. The first investment was in 2021. The last was a few weeks ago. We mostly invest at this stage. We've been also maturing a lot, and in the beginning... It's not, okay. In the beginning, we were a bit earlier stage with our first fund than we are at the moment. At the moment, we focus more on Series A stages. Our initial ticket goes from 1 to 10 million euros, and then we also have deployments in follow-on investments. So the aggregate ticket currently, our biggest one is 22 million euros. We are sometimes flexible in these ranges, so occasionally and opportunistically we can invest in seed stages or late seed. Our smallest ticket was, I think, around 500K, and yeah, our biggest entry ticket's around 10 million. In terms of industries, we're sector agnostic technically, but we have a very good taste for tech companies, purely software companies. We also do some combination of software and hardware, but it's mostly tech companies. Within tech, as you can see in our portfolio, it's a really broad spectrum. So we have tech companies in the music space, in cloud storage, maritime industry, even food company, nutrition, logistics, gyms. Yeah, it's a really broad spectrum. Right? Okay. Yeah, so we invest exclusively through equity instruments, either immediate share capital increase or safe investments with a maturity and a discount, and we target to being in the companies around 5 years. So in terms of the investment process, we get asked a lot, like, how's the investment process? And sometimes we don't. Internally, it's quite obvious for us, but each funds management company, each VC fund has its own investment process. Usually we lead or co-lead most rounds, and that means that we take around 2 months since initial contact until we get the final yes from our investment committee, and then we start to drafting the term sheet for signature. If we're not leading the round, if we're followers, then it's much quicker. Sometimes it can take as less as 2-3 weeks. We also have been in the market for a few years now. We've made some really good connections with Portuguese funds and international funds. It's always nice to have these connections as well for future co-investments or even follow-ons on our portfolio companies when they are thinking of expanding throughout the world in Europe or mostly in the US. So we've built a vast network of partners in Europe and in the US. And yes, so that's basically it. I hope it was clear and that you enjoyed. So I'm free for questions. Thank you.
Round of applause to Rui, who also stayed under the prescribed 8 minutes. We're going at a really nice pace now, and it's time to ask the audience for their questions. Come on, who wants to fire first? As I said before, not everyone at the same time, but you don't need to be shy.
It's a really good or
You're
a
laughing.
really
You
bad
want to fire a
sign.
question? You do. Okay, perfect. Microphone, please, over here, up front. Just introduce yourself and...
Hi, I'm Martin. I'm an organizational development consultant. I have a question regarding the support you're offering to startups. So money is one thing, and it's surely important. What do you offer to startups? Why should startups come to you apart from the money?
Yeah, I think our value added, it's mostly at this stage in Portugal. So being part of the family group that's been investing in Portugal for almost 40 years now, we have obviously deep connections with a lot of industries and players in Portugal. So the biggest value that we can add to our companies is when they're wanting to expand and conquer Portugal and even some part of Spain before launching into proper international growth. So I think that's at least it's what we feel that we can add, and our founders tell us. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rui.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Over to Porto, Marilia.
Thank you, João. Thank you, Rui, again. So now here in Porto, please welcome our second investor, Vítor Magalhães, partner at Leica Ventures.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation. I'm Vítor Magalhães, one of the partners from Leica Ventures. Leica is a venture studio that is focused on building AI-based companies from the very earliest stage. And unlike traditional venture capital companies that mainly focus on funding, we have a different approach because we work hands-on with founders, working from the beginning in the earliest stage of the idea until we help to turn the idea in real companies by supporting with capital, product expertise, technical execution, and go-to-market support. So this is basically what we try to do as a differentiation. 90% of startups fails, not new. Maybe the number is even higher than this, but we like to remind people that even on this era of AI, where AI seems to make everything simpler, this is still true. It doesn't change the entrepreneurship. It's honestly, it's becoming even harder to do stuff because it's easy to do it, but it's very hard to differentiate from the crowd. So that's a thing that it's still a problem on the AI world and in this new era. In terms of what we value for the experience, it's we know that AI doesn't make entrepreneurship easier, as I said. So it's we really value on the founders the experience. That's of course number one, the passion, the focus, and the hands-on. So this is the combination that we try to find and offer with the companies we work with. About our founders, so we mostly are created is created by a team of founders that have experience in the market. So most of us have done exits in companies that have been slightly successful. I would like to say this. It's 20 founders with more than 2 decades of experience in the market, working or helping to build or investing in the companies that have been successful. From these companies, it's more than 40 companies that individually the founders have supported and helped, with some names that are known to the market, like Auth0, Replicate, Vercel, Coverflex, Behout, on my case, Byside. So this is what they've been doing in the market, trying to also bring the experience that we have to the founders. On this number of companies, we can see 3 unicorns, so it's some slightly successful companies. In terms of the current portfolio, it's we are also a startup, so the fund started almost a year ago. We already created, invested, and supported 10 startups that already raised officially 5 million, around 5 million euros, and officially a little bit more, like I think that's close to 8 million. And we are ready to deploy 20 companies per year. So that's the thing that the number that we are raising and try to support. It's a common place. So we want not more than becoming the Y Combinator, but it's becoming the Y Combinator of AI in the European space. We want to support the next generation of AI companies and AI founders to reach the success on their companies. And our mission, it's mostly partner with founders that want to win the tech race. Of course, in the AI space, but this is the most important thing. People that are fearless enough to want to win and want to win in this competitive world. Building the ecosystem, so how we do it, it's a big bet on the AI factory. That's one of the things. And also supported with the fund of 20 million that help us to bring capital to the companies. And about the AI factory, think about it as it's a big bet that we do. So we try to bring entrepreneurs in-house to help them deploy and support their businesses. And in this support, it's think about the AI factory like a villa where we bring entrepreneurs along to work together and help them to create their own unicorns. So that's the thing that we try to do. So it's a safe place for founders to work together in an environment where they can share ideas, can share knowledge, and that we can support them. So inspired by Leica, so that's why the name, it's the first dog in space, and that's embodied the spirit of the fearless. That I told it before, but the fearless is what we want to do, the fearless exploration and courage. And because true innovation comes with risks, and we like to take risks. So we like to find people that want to support, want to be with us, to help them to create the new business and the new ideas and companies that can strive in this AI era. So basically that's it, much less than the 8 minutes, but if any of you is fearless enough and wants the support of a team of people that have been doing this for all over more than 1 decade with success, just feel free to follow us in Twitter and LinkedIn, and don't be afraid to reach us and to understand what we can do for you.
A round of applause for Victor. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
We have time for 1-2 questions. Oh, we have one here.
Hello, Victor. How would you describe a successful startup company?
That's a tricky one because it's, of course, the first thing is a company needs to deliver. That's the first thing, and deliver can be done in different ways. Needs to be able to execute and deliver what she promised to do. And that can happen directly with the outcome on the market or by some sort of exit that can happen. It depends on the company, but I would say that mostly by the capacity to deliver and execute.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Any more questions for Victor? Victor, we have one there. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I would like to ask, how do you look at companies that are maybe at startups that don't have a clear idea about what they would like to deliver as a product? For example, OpenAI, as they started, they hadn't, I will say, not a clear idea that they will make the ChatGPT, but they wanted to create something around the artificial general intelligence. So they didn't know that, but at the end, they are where they are. And I'm like, in this situation right now?
I would say that that's the biggest differentiation of Leica because it's we are not just a capital company, so it's not about the capital alone. It's about having the experience of the founders, and as I said, it's trying to find people that are passionate enough and with the good focus on what they are doing. And we want always to support these people, these founders, being hands-on with them to support and bring experience to also help to define what should be the company and what should be the product. So I think this is the experience that we can bring along. That's the biggest asset of the company because it's all of the partners have been chosen to have experience in different areas, and this approach of being hands-on makes the whole difference.
Thank you.
That's incredible. I think we have one more. We have time for one more question, if you have one, or maybe in Lisbon. No.
We have one here in Lisbon.
Okay,
Just
great.
a second for the microphone to get here. Go for it.
Hello, this is Asad. All right, when you say AI startups, does it mean the startups which are developing with the help of AI, or the startups who are developing new AI?
It must be a company that has a business that is AI driven. It must be somehow AI driven. If it's not AI driven, it's out of our scope. At least.
All right, thank you.
Never say never, but it's the focus of the company is always to support early stage companies that are AI driven.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay, thank you.
So we are ready to move forward. A round of applause for Victor, please. And João,
yes.
I think we are going to Lisbon now.
Yes, Marilia, that's right. This is the last pitch of the evening. Please welcome Thomas Childs, associate at Faber. Come on.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's great to see such a full room, and thank you once again for the chance to be here and telling you a bit about Faber. So my name is Thomas. I'm an associate at Faber, and at Faber we are in seed stage deep tech VC. In fact, I would dare to say that we are one of the few specialized VCs investing in seed stage deep tech out of Southern Europe. So we aim to back teams that are changing the world with deep tech. And this stems from a very core belief, which is that the world's largest problems require science and technology breakthroughs to be solved. And so it's really at the intersection of deep tech, scientific innovation, and entrepreneurial drive that we'll have the engine to bring those solutions out of the lab into the market and to society at large. There's a bit of a caveat to that, though, which is it's really hard to build science-based, science-driven companies. And so that's not only what we're specialized in doing, it's really part of our core thesis to offer the kind of specialized capital that's fundamental at that stage. So under this umbrella of a single thesis, we have two different investment mandates, which are carried out by different investment vehicle families. So one is the Faber Science, which is a fund which invests in applied science, general deep tech at the seed stage. And then we have a sister fund to that, which is Faber Blue Pioneers, which is an impact-driven deep tech seed stage fund. So investing specifically in companies which are impacting the ocean and the water value chains. So I'd like also to leave a note that we've been investing since 2013, although it was in 2020 that we raised our first generation of institutional funds. So since the end of last year, when we raised Faber Science 2, we're now entering the second generation of those fund families. In terms of stage, I've said seed stage a lot. What does that mean for us? It means pre-seed stage companies, pure seed companies, if you will, and also late seed or early Series A companies. So at these stages, we can invest from a few hundred K up to 2 or 2.5 million at a first ticket. I want to really stress that 80% of our first tickets were in companies which had no revenue at the time of the investment. And some of them were even pre-product, so didn't even have a final product yet. At these stages, we also aim to lead or co-lead rounds and really work closely with the founders and the founding teams, especially in kind of those first 2 to 3 years of the company building journey. We are a single team executing on both of these mandates, and I think also this is really one of the things that sets us apart. We all have technological or engineering backgrounds, so from industrial engineering, aerospace, materials, physics engineering, to computer science, cybersecurity, and biotechnology, and also operational experience there, so exited founders, previous operators. We also work with an extended advisory network, both fund-specific advisors, which are people from academia, scientists, late-stage founders, company executives that lend us a bit of their time and expertise, both pre-investment and also post-investment, to support companies' growth and their journeys. I think I've spoken a lot about technology. I think the best way to show you a bit of what that means is to show you a snapshot of our portfolio. So since 2020, that's been more than 40 companies. Over 120 founders have chosen to work with us. And I'll try to avoid kind of the logo soup and show you pictures. They might be a bit small of what these companies are building and what that means. So another note is that we are agnostic within this kind of broad technology stack. But we do kind of see that there are different clusters of companies there. And so let's take a look at what that means. So a first cluster is companies in the healthcare space, be that improving clinical outcomes, be that improving diagnostic processes, or finding new ways to deliver care and therapy. We have companies which are kind of in the pure applied AI, if you will, so companies that have oftentimes a horizontal cross-industry offering that works with large swaths of data, proprietary data, high-performance computing, and complex decision-making systems. We have companies which are revolutionizing different steps of the manufacturing value chain, be that from tackling specific manufacturing bottlenecks to overall process efficiency, automation, and optimization. We have companies that are working in the agri-tech and food tech spaces, for example, be that designing new generations of crops which will be more resilient to climate change, or producing new proteins via biomanufacturing, for example. We have companies which are at the frontier of computation, be that building photonics chips, be that designing tooling to push forward alternative paradigms of computation like analog computing. We have space tech companies which can be doing anything from space traffic management, space domain awareness, to re-entry space flight, to space propulsion. We have also companies that are more broadly in the energy and resource efficiency space, be that desalination, be that recovering critical metals from waste streams, be that producing hydrogen, be that developing fundamentally new ways to cool and control aerodynamics, for example, be that for chips in consumer electronics or for data centers. I want to really kind of reinforce the idea that it's really at the intersection of scientific innovation and purpose. And here capital is only a multiplying factor that in helping you founders build a more sustainable, a more resilient future. So let me end just by kind of reinforcing the message and the key points of what we do. But let me start by what we don't do. So we don't manage tax-advantaged capital. We do not operate as a generalist fund. We do not invest in multi-stage. We do not do growth stage investing. We are a specialized seed stage deep tech VC. We are building a high conviction, a highly concentrated portfolio. So we do not spray and pray. We invest, we are not afraid of hardware, as you saw in the portfolio. There's a lot of hardware there. We're not afraid of investing pre-revenue, sometimes even pre-product. And because of that, we are able to also support these kinds of companies in a specialized way. That means really leveraging kind of the accumulated experience we have with these kinds of companies, and also really being able to use our network of portfolio founders as allies to help you succeed also in the company building process. Thank you.
Take the center of the stage,
okay,
please. And now it's question time. Who wants to fire first? We have one over there from one of the other speakers. Getting toasty.
So, do you support your founders with infrastructure and talent? And if yes, how?
Yes, we can also help, be that in sort of growing the operational footprint with access to talent as well. We do that also through our network, mainly as strategic advisors as well. So we are not founders, we're not operating the companies for you, but we can help you think about the best way to set things up, and also transition into new markets, for example, and what the footprint of the company might have to evolve to do that. So happy to go into more detail there, but let's keep that for afterwards.
Okay, just one more, if we have. Okay, we have
here
two.
In Porto, João.
Okay, we have two here in Lisbon. I would say ladies first, and then if we still have time, I'll bring it over to you.
Quick one, why do you only invest in seed stage? Because I'm assuming that in Southern Europe, it's even harder for deep tech startups to get pre-seed funding.
Yes. Well, the first point is we don't only invest in Southern Europe. So while our entire team is based between Portugal and Spain, we can invest across Europe. And so that means going in both directions, so helping local founders bridge the gap to new markets, but also helping founders from abroad leverage local ecosystems. And it's very intentional, because that's what we're good at, is helping you get from pre-seed, seed stage to Series A into the next level of growth, and hopefully into the hands of investors which are more specialized in what comes afterwards. So it's really an intentional choice, and it's where our experience lies.
Thank you. Just before our third question here in Lisbon, Marilia, you were saying you have a question there in Porto?
Yes, we have one here.
Hi. You specifically said you were not a tax advantage fund. Do you want to just elaborate a little bit why you decided not to have those kinds of vehicles? And is it because you think they're not as founder friendly, or just let me know your thoughts on that, please.
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's it's an intentional option on our partner's side. It is what it is. I think there are advantages in both directions, but this is how we operate, and how our team has chosen to set up the fund. Sorry, I can't elaborate more on that. You'd have to ask them.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now our final question here in Lisbon.
Hey. You mentioned you care a lot about sustainability, and that's what you look for in investments. I'm wondering what impact metrics you use internally for that, and what metrics you use for companies and portfolio companies to define their own sustainability in the world and generally.
Yeah, that's a great question, and especially for kind of the Blue Pioneers mandate we have. So we are not, a climate tech or sustainability investor per se. The Faber Blue Pioneers Fund is set up as an Article 8 fund, and so there are KPIs and metrics associated to the climate impact there. And that's something, to be fair, that I'm less involved with, but also happy to get you in touch with the right people to answer that question. But I know that there are different reporting requirements as well associated with a specific Article 8 structure. Faber Science, we do not have that. But we always have that kind of back of mind, contributing to building a better future, even if that doesn't translate into, KPIs on a dashboard.
Okay. I would say thank you so much, Thomas.
Thank you.
A round of applause for him.
Oh, thanks.
There's your goodies bag. And now over to you, Marilia, so we can end the show.
Yes, thank you, João. So last note from me, if you have enjoying hearing more from investors, then you will love to attend SIM Conference 2026. The early bird tickets are available, but not for long, so please go grab yours. Make sure to get them at simconference.com before the prices increase. João, back to you.
So thank you so much, Marilia. It's always a pleasure to have you on that side, running the show from Porto. And now before we move on to networking and drinks, allow me to share Startup Portugal's gratitude to our partners who help us make these events possible. I will ask you to kindly applaud them as I name them. So Investors Portugal, who helped bring a lot of these investors here today. Come on. Ferroviário, where we stand. 351 Portuguese Startup Community. Come on, come on, come on. UPTech over in Porto. Porto City Council. Sogra App and Superboc Group. Thank you all for joining us. Subscribe to our newsletter. See you again in January. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye, Marilia.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye, João. Guys, really